Hello guys and welcome back to our futuristic Dunes of Hope project. In the last episode we have built our visitor center, scientific building, something like that whatsoever. And in this episode we're going to add 3 new buildings. No animal this time, but I promise you in the next episode we are going to put some animals into this project. But in this episode, as I said, we are going to build some new stuff. The first thing that I'm going to build is some kind of a glass dome. I might call it a biosphere or something like that. So I wanted to have these kind of domes all around the area with some different kind of plants in there, because as I told you, everything is destroyed. Not only the environment where our animals could live in, but also all of the plants. So yeah, we had to do some conservation for the plant life as well, and so there's going to be these domes all around the area where we have plants from Asia, from the rainforests, from Europe, and from all around the globe, where these plants are able to grow. And yeah, so that's what I'm going to build first. And I also placed the first one next to our entrance center. They will have some kind of an entrance with which I'm going to build right here, but it's going to be a fake entrance. So our visitors won't be able to go in there, and also our staff won't be able to go in there, because there's no animals in there and there's no need to enter it. So yeah, as I said, that's going to be a fake entrance. But in theory it would be something where our scientists could go in there and yeah, and work in there and take care of the plants as well, of course. Yeah, and before we go further into this and I tell you all the things that I'm doing right here, which is a lot of stuff, and which was kind of annoying sometimes because things didn't work as planned. I first of all want to address the next DLC that we are getting in a few days from now on. Which is going to be the Wetland animal pack for Planet Zoo, which I'm very excited for. I didn't think it was going to be a wetland pack. As I told you, I was thinking it's going to be South America or Australia DLC. Or animal pack. I was quite sure it was going to be an animal pack. Yeah, but I'm very excited for it, because all of the animals that we are getting, which is going to be the Nile lectre, the wild water buffalo, the platypus, some new caiman, the Asian small clawed otter, and also the what was it? The red crowned crane, which I'm very excited for. And the capybara. How could I forget about the capybara, which is the fan favorite, I might say. Yeah, we are going to add a lot of these animals, and maybe first of all these animals in Dunes of Hope. And that is why you are going to see a lot of new buildings that I'm going to build and designed in this episode. Yeah, so that we can go straight into building some exciting animal habitats for the last animals on Earth, I might say. Yeah, and the buildings that I'm going to build in here are going to be massive, because as I told you, and as it is obvious, animals won't survive in this environment here, and we have to build a lot of indoor habitats. And for that reason I was going to build these huge buildings and these huge halls where we can put down huge trees and waterfalls and everything else. So yeah, it's going to be amazing. It's very time consuming. So everything that you are going to see built in this video, which I cut out a lot of stuff again, I built in about 6 or 8 hours. Okay, to be fair, there was a lot of stuff that I had built and I had to delete once again and try anew, because as I said in the beginning, a lot of the things didn't work out as I planned them, and so I had to redo a lot of stuff. Okay, our biosphere for the first plants is finished, as you could see, and the next thing that I'm going to build here is a huge hall, just like yeah, flight hangar or something like that, which you might be able to see in military kind of areas where huge planes and helicopters and so on are inside. But this one is a little bit different because it has a glass roof. Yeah, we would need a glass roof because for all of the plants that we have in there, they need sunlight. And yeah, and if nothing else, sunlight is something that we have in this area here. It might be very cold, but the sun is out, and throughout the glass it will heaten up the inside of the building as well. So so that at least we are a little bit of energy efficient in this building. Yeah, first of all, I had to build the frame for the building, which I did here with these plaster pieces. And once again, I'm using a lot of these plaster pieces, and the theme for this area is very much concrete, metal and glass again, to give it a huge futuristic and also a very cold and clean look. Yeah, so for that reason I'm using these metal pieces here. To create something like a gate in here. And I also wanted this middle part to have some glass windows, to give a lot of light and yeah, brightness for the inside of the building. This was pretty difficult to build because it didn't work out the way I wanted it, so I had to build the whole thing in a very complicated way, because the rotation mode just didn't work out. It always gave some weird shapes and didn't match for the whole thing. So yeah, in the end I had to do it this way, which was very time consuming, but in the end it looked amazing, and it yeah, I did like the fact that it gave the whole building, the whole front of the building, the shape of something like a sun or a star, which I really did like. As you can see, it looks great. It's almost like a tattoo or something like that, or like these glass windows in the churches. I just had to give it a little bit more color, and it will look yeah, like a church or a cathedral or something like that. And in the next step, I'm going to build the glass roof for the hall. So I was using these huge 12 by 12 meter glass pieces, so that we don't have that much pieces for the hall. But it is still yeah, I lost the count of the pieces for this hall, but yeah, that hall doesn't have that much pieces than the next building that I'm going to build, where alone the roof had over 4,000 pieces. Yeah, and here you already can see how massive the whole building is. Once again, I'm using some plaster pieces to frame the whole thing. And I wish I could find an easier way to build this, but yeah, it was a lot of work to make it work and make it look good, and there sure might be an easier way to do this, but yeah, it just didn't work out, so I had to build it like that. And I also might apologize to you guys, because I forgot to record a small part of building this thing. So a little bit of building the front of this hall is lost, but I'm going to show you that in the next video, where we are going to build the indoor sections. Then I'm going to show you that I did some more decoration on the on the outside of the building, and how I also finished what I'm starting here with these concrete pieces. And I also don't know yet how I'm going to build the indoor sections to this. So will I go for continents, or will I go for habitat styles like yeah, as I said, the wetlands? And then by continents, am I going by animal types, so that we are having some kind of an cat's pavilion, or rodents or something like that? I don't know yet. I think I might decide on that in the next episode, or before I'm going to build for the next episode. Yeah, if you are wondering what that building on the backside is, just pretend it isn't there, because I just wanted you to show you, because I just wanted to show you how you build a glass bubble. The building in the backside I was going to delete, because yeah, in the end it didn't work out the way that I wanted it to work out. So I had to delete the whole thing and build it anew. That is what you are going to see in a few minutes. Yeah, I just wanted to show you how to create a glass bubble, which I also did have a little bit of a problem here, as you could see, because somehow the whole project seems to be cursed right now, because all the things that I was so used to building them didn't work out somehow, and I didn't know why. It was so weird, because I built these glass bubbles so many times and I never had problems with it, and in this park somehow everything said yeah, F you, not this time. Yeah, but in the end, it was a lot of time, but it worked out, and I got my glass bubble. Even though it isn't that perfect as it should be, it does its job and it looks nice, and yeah. And here you can see how it is done, and also here you can see that it didn't match perfectly on the sides, but yeah, that's just how it is. And here you get an idea of what the next building is going to look like. I wanted to have it this round outside wall, and in the middle like this glass dome as yeah, yeah, as a dome in the middle for a roof. And I did cut out the next part of it. As you can see, I'm trying to connect the sides of the building with the roof, and it didn't work out, so I had to delete the whole thing. And so we are here with half of the bubble and building yeah, the outer roof of the building. As you can also see, I changed the weather, because it was such a pain to build in the snow, because with most of the glass pieces you can't see a thing building it, and also with these white concrete pieces or with the plaster pieces, it is so hard to see what you actually are building. So that I decided to make it rain, so the whole snow is going to melt, and then bring back the sun in, so that I can actually see what I'm building here. But don't worry, we're bringing the snow back in as we are finished with the building. And that was also the point where I noticed this might be the reason that most of the YouTubers and most of the content creators are building in a more friendly environment and not in the Arctic. Yeah, the idea I had for this building, I had some inspiration of it's a giant panda conservation center somewhere in China, where they have these kind of buildings there that look very, very futuristic, and they were built in a similar way. They didn't have the glass bubble roof in the middle. They were open in the middle, and only the sides were covered with glass roofs. Um, yeah, but as we are in the Arctic, we had to cover everything, and yeah, that was my inspiration for that zoo, or for that building, not for that zoo, for this kind of building. And I try to recreate it as much as possible, and also give it my own interpretation of it. And once again, building this wasn't that easy, because I once again used only off-grid pieces. because what I was planning was I wanted to connect all the pieces together and make it one building, which didn't work out because I used too many pieces for it. So as I told you, alone the roof with this part of the roof and the glass bubble had about 4,000 pieces. So the rest of the building again had over 1,000 pieces, so that I couldn't connect everything together, which was a little bit of a pain. Because I usually plan to have more of that similar buildings in this area or in this center, and connect them via tunnels, and so I had to copy the single pieces and put it on the backside of this park. So I can use it in a later stage, and as I said, I wasn't able to save it as a building. Maybe when it's done, I'm going to be able to save it as a habitat and put it in the workshop, but I don't know if this would be a great idea, because of that many pieces you won't be I think you won't be happy with it, putting it in a zoo, especially when you have a computer that is a little bit on the slower side, or on the older side, I might say. Yeah, as you can see, I'm copying the roof pieces around, and this time I was so happy that it worked and it fit perfectly. And he was playing a little bit around and playing UFO, because yeah, the whole thing just looked like a UFO. Yeah, and I was pretty happy with it. And here we are at the last part of this building. We are building the outer wall of it. And I also wanted to have some window features in there. And I have to admit, I took somewhat of inspiration from a building that Set as the Age Place had built in, yeah, it was in his famous Tecton Zoo, where he built the night house, and he built it in a similar way. So where he had these wall pieces and yeah, didn't have the straight wall, but made some variation in the wall. Oh my god, my English is so bad today. I made it a little bit different because I didn't use the plaster pieces all around, so I had the glass pieces in the middle. But yeah, if you know what I'm talking about, you actually might notice the similarity to it. And I just wanted to have the glass pieces in between to give a little bit more lighting inside of the building. And also I used the one-sided glass because I liked it when it was darker from the outside, to give it a little bit more contrast. Yeah, and have this much light on the inside. And I also used these construction metal beams to give it a little bit more contrast with the black color, because too much white with all the snow around it just didn't seem right for me. So I wanted to have a little bit, yeah, of contrast in it as well. And I changed the upper part of the wall into these silver metal pieces that we also used for our entrance science building, to also give it a little bit of variety. Yeah, and here we are finished with the outside. And it looks quite nice. And here's a little twist I gave the whole building. Yeah, literally a little twist, because I didn't want it to look that straight. I wanted to sink it a little bit into the ground on the sides, and yeah, as I said, give it a little bit of a twist. Which looks pretty cool in my opinion. And makes the whole thing look a little bit more interesting. Yeah, and the next part was I was thinking about how I want the visitors and the scientists to walk around in our halls. And I decided I want to make it something like yeah, because it's some kind of a conservation center, and you want to breed those animals and bring them back into nature once the nature is healing. So you don't want to disturb the animals that much, and you don't want the animals to notice the people around here. So I decided I was going to build some kind of a tunnel where the visitors are moving, so that actually the people that are entering these facilities are going to be the one that are caged and not the animals. So that you have the feeling that the animals are roaming free in their habitats, and they don't actually see or hear the visitors, because they are behind these glass walls with the one-sided glass, so that they can see the animals, but the animals can't see them. So that was the whole idea around this. And also I wanted to implement this in the for the path outside of the buildings. Yeah, because you know it's pretty cold outside in the Antarctic, and I don't want our visitors to freeze. So I think I'm going to put these outside as a connection between the buildings as well. That gives the whole thing a very futuristic style, and also some kind of style. Some of you said it on Facebook that it looks like I was going to build a zoo on Mars or on the moon, and yeah, that I really like that idea. This was pretty weird. I had so many problems putting down these tunnel pieces. Because somehow they were off the grid when I selected more than these pieces. When I select double of it, yeah, it just didn't work anymore. And yeah, as I said in the beginning, this whole project seems to be cursed. I always find a solution somehow, but I'm not always that happy with it. Because most of the solutions that I have to find when something doesn't work out take a lot of time. As you can see, I have this small gap in here, so I decided I'm just going to copy these metal beams and fill in the gap with them. Yeah, and the only thing that is left to do now is put down the path on the inside, which worked out pretty well, I might say. And yeah, and after that we are finished with this episode, and we are going to put our first animals in there in the next episode. So I hope you guys liked it. This is a very different project from everything else that I did already. And yeah, as I said, I hope you liked it. If you did so, leave a like, subscribe to my channel so you don't miss the next episode that is going to be really exciting with the new DLC as well. And yeah, take care and see you next time, guys. Bye.